The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zethkar's 3 eyes dilated with fear. The holographic display before them showed the unmistakable signatures of Void Hunter fleets massing at the galaxy's edge. Hundreds of thousands of vessels that had already consumed 17 star systems in the Outer Rim. "The situation is beyond critical," Zethkar announced, his voice crackling through the translation matrix. "Our combined fleets have suffered devastating losses. The Altarian Defense Force has been reduced to scattered remnants. The Crystalline Collective's orbital fortresses lie in ruins. Even the mighty Kraxan Empire has retreated to their core worlds." Murmurs of despair rippled through the assembled delegates representing 43 species. For 3 months, the Void Hunters had swept through the galaxy like a plague, their dark ships consuming everything in their path. Planets, stars, even the fabric of space itself seemed to wither at their touch. "What of the reinforcements from the Beta Quadrant?" asked Chancellor Vexara, her tentacles writhing nervously. "Intercepted and destroyed," Zethkar replied grimly. "The Hunters adapt to our weapons within hours. Our energy shields are useless against their void cannons. Our plasma torpedoes simply dissipate against their hull armor. They learn, they evolve, they overcome." In the observation gallery above, Captain Sarah Chen of the Terran Federation watched the proceedings with growing frustration. Earth had been part of the Galactic Council for only 5 years, considered newcomers barely above the status of an observer species. Their requests to contribute militarily had been politely but firmly declined. "Primitive kinetic weapons," the Altarians had scoffed. "Chemical propulsion systems from the Stone Age." "Perhaps," came a voice from the chamber floor, "it's time to consider unconventional options." The delegates turned to see Ambassador Marcus Webb rising from the human section. His weathered face bore the calm confidence that came from humanity's bloody but educational history. "The Terran Federation formally requests permission to deploy our fleets in defense of the galaxy," Webb announced. A ripple of what might have been laughter passed through the chamber. Counselor Thraxon, a towering reptilian whose species had mastered energy manipulation millennia before humans discovered fire, gestured dismissively. "Ambassador Webb, while we appreciate Earth's enthusiasm, your species possesses no energy shields, no plasma weaponry, no quantum drives. Your vessels move by burning chemicals and hurling metal projectiles. What could you possibly accomplish against an enemy that has defeated our most advanced technologies?" Webb smiled, a peculiarly human expression that somehow managed to be both humble and predatory. "Sometimes, Counselor, the old ways work best. We request coordinates of the Void Hunter Advance Fleet." 12 hours later, the UES Indomitable dropped out of hyperspace at the edge of the Kepler 442 system. The massive dreadnought was followed by 37 other vessels, cruisers, destroyers, and the pride of Earth's fleet, the carrier UES. Yorktown. To alien eyes, they looked impossibly crude. Steel hulls blackened by atmospheric re-entry, weapon systems that belonged in a museum, and engines that literally exploded fuel to create thrust. Admiral Chen stood on the Indomitable's bridge, watching the tactical display with satisfaction. The Void Hunter Advance Fleet hung in space like a malignant tumor, 200 vessels of varying sizes, their biomechanical hulls pulsing with an unnatural darkness that seemed to absorb light itself. "Admiral," reported Commander Torres, "from the sensor station, the enemy fleet is ignoring us. They're not even scanning us." Good, Chen replied. They probably think we're debris. Launch all fighters. From the Yorktown's bays came something the galaxy hadn't seen in combat for over 1,000 years: manned fighter craft. 120 F-47 Raptors roared into space, their pilots breathing recycled air and trusting in reaction mass and momentum rather than energy fields. The Void Hunters finally took notice as the wave of primitive aircraft approached. Dark energy beams lanced out, the same weapons that had effortlessly pierced Altarian shields and melted Kraxan armor. But the beams passed harmlessly around. The human fighters. The Hunters' weapons were designed to disrupt energy fields and molecular bonds. They were utterly helpless against simple steel and ceramic armor, moving in predictable Newtonian trajectories. "All fighters, you are weapons-free," Chen announced calmly. "Target their flagships first." What followed could only be described as a slaughter. Kinetic rounds from the fighters' rotary cannons punched through Void Hunter hulls like paper. Nuclear warheads, banned by galactic treaty for their primitive brutality, detonated against enemy vessels that had no defense against simple atomic fusion. The Void Hunters tried to adapt, but there was nothing to adapt to. Human weapons were magnificently, brutally simple. Chemical explosives, mass drivers, depleted uranium rounds. Technologies so primitive they fell below the threshold of the Hunters' evolutionary algorithms. "This is impossible," whispered the monitoring station on Proxima Base as they watched the feed. "The humans they're winning." Admiral Chen watched with grim satisfaction as the last Void Hunter vessel broke apart under concentrated railgun fire from his cruisers. The enemy's biomechanical technology, so sophisticated it seemed like magic, proved utterly vulnerable to what amounted to really big bullets fired really fast. "Message to Galactic Command," Chen ordered. "Kepler 442 system secured. Void Hunter advance fleet eliminated. Human casualties 0. We are proceeding to the next target." Across the galaxy, the tide began to turn. Human fleets struck like sledgehammers against silk, their crude weapons and chemical drives proving immune to adaptation. The Void Hunters, evolved to counter energy weapons and quantum technology, had no answer for creatures who still solved problems by hitting them harder. When the war ended 3 months later, the galaxy learned a fundamental truth that humanity had always known. Sometimes the most advanced solution is to go back to basics. As Admiral Chen put it in his after-action report, complexity is the enemy of reliability. The Void Hunters forgot that the simplest weapon is often the most effective one. The Galactic Council never again dismissed humanity's primitive technologies. After all, when the galaxy was dying, it was Earth's obsolete warships that broke the silence and saved them all.